Hi, and welcome to Saturday Night Spiritual at Founders Metropolitan Community Church. We're here on the second Saturday of every month at 5 o'clock Pacific time. I am the Reverend Sheena Metal, and this is my service. I'm honored to be here delivering messages to you from my home in Huntington Beach, California, in the Los Angeles area, if you're not a Southern California person. And every month, we talk about something that I hope is uplifting for you, inspires a sense of inner peace, brings love to you, loving feelings about yourself and others in the world, that, as I said, lifts your individual vibration so you can work to lift the vibration of the everything. Everything we talk about is from an interfaith perspective, which means that no matter how you were raised, what you believe, where you worship, you belong here. Even if the answer to that is nothing, nothing, nothing. Atheism is a faith. Being agnostic is a faith. You have a faith even if you don't think you have a faith. So everything we do here is from a global perspective of what my mama used to call y'all come. You're always welcome. And you're welcome to take the things that we talk about every month and digest them in your own way, from your own perspective, with your own belief systems, and find things that work for you. Because that's really what putting your spiritual palette together, right, and solidifying is about. It's about, what am I hearing from the message? I can go to temple and listen to a rabbi speak. I can go to a Buddhist temple and listen to Buddhists speak. I can listen to atheists argue why this life, this place, this earth is all that matters. Or I can attend a service on Sunday at Founders MCC and listen to what Pastor Keith is saying that week. Now, in each of those places, I take from that sermon, from that service, from that wisdom, from the knowledge, from the education, from the enlightenment, from the evolvement, what resonates with me. And I add those things to my spiritual palette. We always talk about that. But quick, first, please find us. We have a community page. It's at SaturdayNightSpiritual.com. FoundersMCC.org is the website for our wonderful church. Also, Founders has a YouTube page. You can find many of the Saturday Night Spiritual services and all our services there. We have a wonderful Facebook page, Founders MCC on Facebook. And if you're looking to watch every Saturday Night Spiritual and you want to know what the sermon was about, and you'd like to watch it, you can go to Rev Sheena, that's me, Rev Sheena, foundersmcc.com. And that will take you to a private page on my website that has all of the links, and you can click on them and watch. From the very beginning, this service is our 3-year anniversary service. I should text Pastor Keith right now and tell him it's our 3-year anniversary service. Huzzah! In the time of COVID, time passes in a strange way. Okay, so I wanted to make sure you knew all of that. I am the interfaith pastor here. I'm honored that our board of directors and the denomination and Pastor Keith and Reverend Alejandro and all the wonderful people on the creative team and on the pastoral team have given me the honor of doing this service for you once a month and of bringing interfaith really into MCC, which I believe has a lot of interfaith elements in it whilst remaining mostly Christian. So let's talk about spiritual palette for a second. And later today, I'm going to be talking about pride. Obviously, it's Pride Month, and pride's an important thing on my mind, as all of our minds right now. A palette is a palette, right? And your palette is just yours. Pastor Keith teases me that I talk a lot about the spiritual salad bar, the idea that you can go to a salad with 100 things on the salad bar. Well, you're not going to eat 100 things. I mean, maybe you can, but you probably don't like all 100 things. So you take maybe the 10 or 15 things you love, and that's how you build your plate. That becomes your palate. My parents were both painters in their spare time, but my father painted mostly boats and ocean stuff, and my mom painted mostly warm things. So if you looked at and they were oil painters, right? So their palette stayed, because with oil paints, you just keep the paint on the palette and it doesn't go bad. I'm not an oil painter. It always fascinated me as a kid. So my father's palette was blues and greens and grays for the sky, or, yellows for sunsets. And my mother's palette was mostly pinks and purples and sometimes oranges and reds. The same paints, the same palette. They bought the same palette at the same place, bought the paints at the same place. But his palette were the colors that resonated with him for the art he was bringing to the world. And her palette were the colors that resonated with her for the art that she was bringing to the world. And that's the beautiful thing about your palette. And I know I talk about this every month, but you can make your palette out of whatever you want. You're allowed to create your spiritual palette in the same way that my parents created the palette with their oil paints, with just the things that you want. And even if you say, I'm a Christian, I identify as Christian, I've been a Christian my whole life, Christian, end of story. Okay, well, I bet deep down inside of you, there are things that resonate with you that might not be strictly Christian things. They don't have to be necessarily indoctrined things from a holy book. They can be cultural things. They could be totems. If you look at the charms around my neck, the first question you're probably going to ask is, what in the world is she? And it's just things that resonate with me. It's a lot of Irish stuff, because that's my heritage. But it's all different things, from Egyptian stuff, because my mother loved Egyptology, to there's a Christian cross that I got when I became a pastor here and sort of recaptured my Christianity. Archangel Michael, because my mother worked with him in her own spiritual work. So I feel like I grew up with his energy around. A Ganesh, because I love the deity Ganesh. He's my favorite link to Hinduism, and I love elephants. So he's the remover of obstacles, and don't we all need that? So this is how you create a palette. And I wear this right over my solar plexus chakra for protection, for enhancement, for balance, for happiness, things that resonate with me in gold, right? Which is a protective element. There is a reason why the wise men brought frankincense, myrrh, and gold to the baby Jesus. And it wasn't necessarily just bling because they wanted to show him they were rich and giving him some rich stuff. It's because frankincense, myrrh, and gold are three of the best protection elements. And they knew this special little guy had been born, and they had to bring stuff to protect him. Your palette is so important. You don't have to use the term interfaith. You don't have to claim to be anything but what you claim to be. But you have to make space on that palette for the things that resonate with you, and know that that palette will grow and it will change as you spend years on the earth and discover more things that may or may not resonate with you. And that's great. Like I said, I grew up in a very, very, very culturally, sociologically, spiritually, politically conservative place in California. And I ran away to Los Angeles in my early 20s. And I would never say that I was a Christian. I would never say the word God. I always said universe or higher power. I only talked about Jesus in metaphor. And then I spent more years on the earth, and I realized I didn't have to rebel anymore. And it was okay to recapture the things that resonated with me. And then when I came here over 3 years ago and became a staff pastor at Founders MCC, and spent time in services and spent time in in the congregation attending services, I realized how much my Christianity was a part of me, and I recaptured it in the way that works for my palette, with the colors and the items and the totems that belong in my palette. And that is a beautiful thing. So if you want to identify as Christian, but you see folks who also identify as Christian, and you're like, I don't even get that. Well, okay, that's a part of it that it doesn't belong on your palette, and that's okay. I think maybe on my tombstone, it's going to say your interfaith, and that's okay. Because everything is okay when you're building your own palette, as long as you walk in the light. Because all paths paved in good lead us to the light. And it's important as you capture these things in your spiritual palette, on the spirituality spectrum, that you remember how important it is to be prideful, to have pride for each and everything that you put on that palette. Pride that you consider yourself a Christian. Pride that you consider yourself a Christian who believes in reincarnation and likes crystals. Pride in who you are and pride in what you do. And it's Pride Month, so we're talking about pride. And what I'm conveying to you this month is to please have pride in every aspect of your life. Let's talk about palettes. My father was obsessed with boats. My mom used to say he was an old sea captain from another life. Normally, I talk about my mom every month. My father and I were not close, but I'm in my childhood home, and I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but here we go. This man lived for boats, and when he wasn't working, he was a design engineer. He would be dragging us to some shipyard where they were burning all the old boats, and he would ask for the tools and the clamps and the iron off the ships, and he would build his own wooden sailboats. So as he painted, when he didn't have the time, or when he became older and he couldn't build the boats anymore, he painted the boats. So because he was so attached to the ocean, because he was so attached to boats, each color in his oil paint palette, each one of those colors meant something to him, because the blues were the ocean, and that was a part of his soul, and the greens were the ocean, and that was part of his soul, and the grays and the whites were the foam on the waves, and his palette reflected his love for the ocean and for sailboats. My mom painted ceramics for a long time. And it was just when she was beginning to explore and really come together in her diverse spiritual palette. So she had always been fascinated with Egyptology and hieroglyphics, so she began painting Basque cats, the cat goddess, and Anubis, and scarabs and pyramids. And for her, and what she called her Egyptian past life, so many of her paints were golds and coppers and bronzes and silvers, pewters of all different colors. And she would paint the Egyptian cats in lacquered black or mother of pearl white. Those became her colors. And if you looked at her rack of ceramic paints, 2 shelves of it was her golds and silvers and coppers and pewters. We paint what we know in our heart, right? We paint our palette. If you're an artist, you paint, you write, you dance, you create, you sculpt your palette. Part of your palette is your spiritual palette. And it's important to be proud of that. Part of your palette is your gender, right? Where do you fall on the gender spectrum? Where do you fall on the sexuality spectrum? Where do you fall on the creative spectrum? Where do you live? Are you proud of being a human on the earth? proud of being an American or whichever country you belong to, proud of being a Californian, proud of being a Los Angelito, proud of the neighborhood that you live in. You know, when we're younger, and oftentimes when we're growing up in indoctrined religions, sometimes there's a bad stigma put on pride, right? Don't be prideful. Don't follow your pride, the sin of pride. Well, I mean, certainly there are ways in which we can be too prideful and ways in which we can be too focused on what we want and our thing and our pride, and it can hinder our lives, right? Too much of anything. As Buddha said, if the guitar string is too tight, it will snap. If it's too loose, it won't play. So the idea is to find that middle ground, to find that middle place. So yeah, you're not supposed to be so prideful that it stops you from making friends, falling in love, enjoying your life. But I think sometimes as humans, we tend to overcorrect in the other direction, and we stop being prideful. We stop having pride, or we selectively have pride in certain things in our life, but we don't have pride in other things. We are a total being. We ourselves are the palette. We are the accumulation of everything that we are, everything that we like, every experience that we've had, everyone who's loved us, everyone who's hurt us. We are the palette full of the oil paints. And it's so important that we have pride in who we are. So this is a thing about people, right? If you walk up to a person and you say, how's your life? Oftentimes people will start telling you all of the things about their life that's not great. Well, I wish I had more money. This has been a hard couple of years. I had COVID. I don't feel that great. And, you know, my house needs to be fixed up and I need to get a new car. And that's not how's your life. That's your to-do list of things you still want to fix in your life. And that's great. We all have a to-do list, right? We all have things that we wish we could fix or make better or work on. And life is about obstacles. It's about challenges. It's about working on things. So that's terrific. But when somebody asks, how's your life? Or how you doing? The first thing that should come to your mind is all the things that you're feeling pride about yourself. I'm doing well. I just got my master's degree. I just cleaned out my attic. I'm made a new friend today. I spent the day in meditation. So many things that you can say that are beautiful things that have happened to you. But we're taught to sort of default into what's not working or what are we still working on. It's okay to give that list to somebody afterwards, but it's got to be positive. So I'm here restoring my childhood home. I think to live in. That's the plan. And maybe to teach in and maybe to see my spiritual clients in. It's a lot. It's a big house. It has 40-something years of my father and mother's life in it. She did not clean anything out after he died because she was at that time in a wheelchair. I didn't clean anything out after she died because I was grieving for many years. Then I got busy and had my own challenges to work on. So here I am, right? So that can be a great source of overwhelm because there's so much to do that if I start thinking about all the things that aren't done, nothing will get done. So every day before I go to bed, I sort of give myself a high five for the things that got done. Today, before I started this service, I put my clothes away in my new dresser. This morning when I got up, I set the clock on the stove and the microwave. And I just, you maybe can hear it in the background, I turned on the pool pump and I'm running it manually. I filled the pool. So put some things away. I took some trash out. I picked up a toaster oven. I hooked up a new fan. Are these big things? No. But they're things I'm doing because I could just be somewhere rocking back and forth in a fetal position thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do about that house? We don't give ourselves enough credit for the things we do. We don't have enough pride in the actions that we are taking because we're focusing on what we don't have. And I think that happens here with Pride Month. I think it happens in our own queer worlds, right? If you are a queer person in America, and I don't care if you are 11 or 111, and you have come out to yourself. If you don't want to come out to the world, that's your business. But you have come out to yourself and said, I am a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, intersex, asexual, two-spirit, pansexual, allied, queer, genderqueer, and all the subsets. You have been honest with yourself about who you are, and you are living in a positive place and loving yourself. You're a hero. That's it. You're already a hero. You already have done what so many people are scared to do. You already have done what so many people who came before you were terrified to do and couldn't do. And like I said, whether you decide to tell 10 people or 1,000 people or go on the news or change your queerness put on your profile on Facebook, that's your business. But the most important thing is, have you come out to yourself about everything, about your gender, your sexuality, your likes, your hobbies, your spiritual beliefs? Have you said these things to yourself? This is who I am. And felt positively about it. And believe that spirit, God, Goddess, higher power, great spirit, source, is in co-creation with you and supporting you for these things that you have pride in. Congratulations. You're a hero. That's it. You're already a hero. Rock star. You're already a rock star. Done and done. And that's our sermon. Good night. No, I'm not done yet, but I could be, because that's it. You're a hero. You're a hero because you have been true to yourself. And even for things that we don't like, right? I'm addicted to sugar. I've been on the wagon for the most part since Thanksgiving, but I'm addicted to sugar. And in my life, sugar has screwed a lot of things up for me. I feel better when I'm eating sugar for about a week and a half, and then I start feeling worse because it does make me feel great, and then it makes me not feel great. Still, if you put a box of See's candy in front of me and told me I could eat it and nothing would happen to me, I would push away my food and just eat the See's candy. Am I proud that I'm addicted to sugar? No. Am I proud that I've been off sugar mostly since November? Yes. Do I understand it's a thing about me? Yes. Do I have shame? No. Everybody's addicted to something. That's my thing. I'm Irish. I could be addicted to everything. But like a semi-smart person, I chose not to indulge in the things I thought I would become addicted to and then became addicted to sugar. I'm a big person. I'm a fat woman in America. That's not an easy thing to be. Am I losing weight? Yes. Have I lost nearly 100 pounds? Yes. Am I proud of myself for that? Yes. Did I love myself before I lost the weight? Yes. I lost the weight for health reasons and to become more active because my size was getting in the way of me working myself to death in a very healthy and balanced workaholic kind of way. My size was impeding my service. But I loved myself then, and I love myself now, and I had pride in myself. But people will try to tell you once I had a woman say to me, "You're my inspiration for not killing myself because I want to kill myself every day and I'm thin. If I was your size, I don't know how you get up every day and don't want to kill yourself." I think maybe she thought that was a compliment, but it was kind of like a compliment that at the end you got hit in the face with a brick. But I realized that's on her. I love myself even when I was that big, and that was even bigger than I was 100 pounds ago. You have to have pride in who you are. You don't have to like everything about yourself, and you don't have to, you can still want to change things. We're constantly growing and evolving and becoming more connected and more grounded and more happy and more learned. That's part of walking our spiritual path. That's part of evolution. But you still have to have pride in who you are. I'm so extremely prideful about being Irish. I mean, I think there's a little ethereal dancing leprechaun over my head. I mean, I can't go 20 minutes without telling someone I'm Irish. And people sometimes will say to me, "Oh, well, what about this? What about that?" And they're trying to give me reasons why I shouldn't be proud to be Irish. But I'm not responsible for them. That's on them. If you're a person that would come up and try to make somebody feel bad about their own ethnicity, that's on you. If I said to myself, I can't be proud of myself for being Irish because that guy told me all Irish people are alcoholics, which first of all is not true because I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life. Secondly, can sometimes be true because we've had a rough time, the Irish, and we do like our whiskey. And why would you? But that's not on me. That's on him. If somebody says to you, "I can't love you because I don't want people in my life that are queer," that's on them. That's not on you for being queer. That's on them for throwing away what could be a perfectly good friend, lover, family member, coworker, because they've decided they're so insecure and so not proud of themselves that they have to start looking outside of themselves for reasons why they don't feel good about themselves. I don't feel good about myself because I have to sit next to that queer person at the office. That's on me. My 19-year-old spirit daughter would say, "That sounds like a you problem." I love that expression. It's true. If somebody has a problem with you, that is their problem. Let's break it down like I'm an English teacher. Here's the sentence. That's the subject, I have a problem, right? The verb is have. I have, right? A problem, right? That's the predicate with you. Okay. So the real sentence there before the comma is, I have a problem. That means that person has a problem. With you, that's just where it's directed that day. Really, they have a problem with themselves. Don't let another human being make you feel like you're not enough, or you're too much of something, or you're not enough of something, or like you shouldn't have pride in who you are. I love when people say, "Why does there have to be a pride parade?" I want a pride parade for straight white Christian guys. Okay, well, you can have that. You can have straight white Christian guy pride. Have at it. We're not stopping you. There is pride because we celebrate the times when it was tough for us to have pride in ourselves, the time where we had to work despite what society thought, to be proud of ourselves as queer people. We have Irish pride, and I do go to the Irish pride festivals, because there was a time when we were considered less than in this country, and less than before we came to this country in our own country. We celebrate pride to say we are proud of ourselves despite what anybody in the history of humanity has ever thought, right? I am here and I am queer. But when you're getting all full of your queer pride, which is beautiful, don't forget about the other things in your life that you're proud of. What you do. Who's your family? Who are your friends? What are you good at? It's okay to have pride in those things, and don't let people tell you that there's something wrong with you if you have pride. You should be proud of everything you're good at. You should be proud. I have a beautiful cat, and I had a hand in raising him. And he's a beautiful, well-behaved, lovely gentleman. And I'm extremely proud of that. I, with the help of others, put this service together. And now this is our 3-year anniversary. And I'm extremely proud of that. What are you proud of? What do you feel like you just did a good job? Or something that, you know what, everybody told you weren't going to last and you're still here. Have pride in every aspect of your life. You're not being conceited. You're not being obnoxious. As an artist, I started as an actor, and I've fronted bands, and I've worked in many different aspects of performing arts since I was very little. And I see so many people that are so beautiful and so talented get off stage, walk off from in front of the camera and say, oh man, I screwed that up. I suck. What would it be like to have the thing that you want to do the most in the world? And people love you, right? Some of these people get paid $20 million a film, and tens of thousands of people come and see them in things. Yet when they get done, their first thought is, oh man, I suck and I screwed that up. Because pride is a thing you have to give to yourself. Thousands of people can tell you how great they are, but they can't make you believe it. You have to believe, I rock that scene. I rock that song. I rock this look. This painting I made, I'm proud of it. I think it's beautiful. I think someone will love it, and even if nobody ever loves it but me, I love it. As I say those things out loud, I think of all the people in my life, and you all know because you've had these people in your life. I think of all the people in my life that have said to me, yeah, you shouldn't say that. You know, what makes you think you're so great? Or why would you say you did something well? Why would you talk about something you're good at? Because this is how we pat each other, we pat ourselves on the back. This is how we show love to ourselves. And loving yourself is a healthy thing. Self-love is not selfish. Self-love is where it's at, baby. Self-love is what Spirit wants for us. Spirit wants us to walk off that stage and say, boom, nailed it. Not, sucked again. I don't know why they're paying me $20 million to make this movie. I always stink. That's not what we're sent here to do. That's not what Spirit wants for us. Spirit wants us to say, yes, I am in my right place, in my divine right place, doing the thing that I was put here to do, and I was asked to do it today, and I rocked it. Do you think when I'm done today, I'm going to get up and go, yeah, it's kind of a bad sermon. I sucked. No. I'm delivering a message to you that hopefully is important. That's why I'm here. Spirit, with the help of MCC and Pastor Keith and Reverend Alejandro, has put me here to do this and to do it well. And there's nothing wrong at the end of the day with saying, I think that was a good sermon. Now, sometimes do I think maybe this one I was a little more in my divine right place than in this one? Well, sure. We always compare and contrast everything that we do. And it's okay to be healthily critical and say, you know what, I think next time I'm going to try something a little different. Okay, you're allowed. But to always think everything you do is just a constant cacophony of you screwing things up, that's not how it's supposed to be. You were put here for a reason. To connect with the people you're supposed to connect with, to perform the tasks that Spirit wants you to perform, to bring the energy to the situation that Spirit has asked you to do. Every one of us is a piece of the puzzle. And without each one of us, the puzzle is not complete. And we're all supposed to do a different thing, you know. You're the edge puzzle piece with the cat face on it. And I'm the second from the edge puzzle piece with a piece of cloud on it. And that's how we're all supposed to be. But if you pop yourself out of the puzzle and run off like, I suck and I'm ruining this puzzle, well, then the puzzle's not complete. Spirit doesn't want us to fail. Spirit didn't send us here to dislike ourselves or to think we can't do anything right. We were put here to be proud of ourselves and have pride in what we do. We work really hard to do the right thing, and we work really hard to get things done. Life can be exhausting. You get up in the morning, you got a list of 50 things to do, and you're lucky if you get 20 of them done. So pat yourself on the back for everything you get done. And if you didn't get anything done that day, then pat yourself on the back for what you did yesterday. Be proud of every aspect of your life. So in celebrating Queer Pride this month, being a member of the LGBTQIP2SAA community, take that pride with you. Be proud to be a queer person. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of this community and all it's fought for to get us the rights that we have today. If you're a part of an ethnic minority or a spiritual minority or a gender minority, be proud of who you are. I am proud to be a human being. I'm proud to be a woman. I am proud to be bisexual. I'm proud to be an intersex person. I'm proud to be an artist. I'm proud to be a minister. I'm proud to be a psychic medium. List the things you are and how proud you are of each thing. Because basically when you do that, my friends, what you're doing over and over and over again is saying to Spirit, thank you. Thank you for making me a person. Thank you for making me a woman. Thank you for making me a pansexual intersex person. Thank you for my spiritual gifts. Thank you for my creative gifts. Thank you for making me a minister. And that is the circle of how it's supposed to be. Spirit thanks you for your service, and you thank Spirit for the gifts. Right? What do we say before we eat, right? We thank you, God, for these gifts we are about to receive. Spirit is giving us gifts our whole life. The gift of reading, the gift of writing, the gift of understanding math, the gift of understanding how to get in our car and not get lost, the gift of conversation, the gift of love. And we are constantly saying to Spirit, thank you. Our pride is a thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for my gifts. Thank you for the people in my life that I love and that love me. Thank you for my beautiful animal companions. And then Spirit says, thank you for your service. You feel pride in yourself. And Spirit feels pride in you. Spirit says, this one that I sent back to earth, I'm proud of this one. It's a love fest. It is a perfect circle of love and light and energy and spiritual goodness. And all you have to do is be proud of yourself. Have pride in every aspect of your life. Reverend Keith just popped on and said, from shame to gratitude. Absolutely. Total gratitude. Be grateful. Be thankful. Know you are blessed. Thank Spirit for your gifts. Close your eyes and feel Spirit. Thank you for your service. And with that, talking about gratitude, Pastor Keith, I'm going to let you put up how people can donate. Please help us to help you by allowing us to fund these wonderful services and projects and outreaches that Founders MCC does. And if you would, when you donate, make sure to put Saturday Night Spiritual so folks know that you're watching and enjoying. It's that circle again. You say, thank you for providing these wonderful services. And we say, you're welcome. Thank you for attending. Thank you for donating. Thank you for making up an important part of who we are. Because it wouldn't be a church without staff. And it wouldn't be a church without a congregation. Another circle. Everything in the universe is a perfect circle. And all we have to do is keep that running. You can find us at foundersmcc.org. Please go there. Please watch all of our services on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page. You can find Saturday Night Spiritual at SaturdayNightSpiritual.com. That's our community page. And if you want to go and find a links page to watch all the services, Rev Sheena, foundersmcc.com. It's a secret page on my website. If you can't find it, go to sheenametalspiritual.com and tap on Interfaith Service, and you'll find it. In case you wonder if this is your first one, and you wonder, like, what's she been talking about for 3 years, Pastor Keith? It's our 3-year anniversary today. What's she been talking about for 3 years? What's going on? We'll be back, as always, the second Saturday of the month. We'll see you in July. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about liberty, since it's so close to the 4th of July. I want you to enjoy your Pride Month, and I want you to have so much pride in everything about you and everything you're doing. And if you don't know how to have pride in you, find me, and I'll help you. All right? I just gave you my website. I'm on social media, at Sheena Metal everywhere. Let's work together for a world where everyone has more pride in themselves. Let's work together for a world where we really believe that Spirit put us here for a reason, that God is proud of us, not angry at us, not thinks we didn't do enough, but generally proud for how we have used our gifts. And not just proud of your sexuality, not just proud of your gender, or your identity this month, but proud of everything you are. All right? And now I'm going to read a little poem about pride, because we know I always end with a poem every time. If I look up and, this is not mine, I found this on the internet. I wanted to make sure I said that. If I look up and see a rainbow, it will bring me back to here. It's where you fought for far too long to be your perfect self, my dear. You sped through streets, avoiding gazes, wearing someone else's clothes, Now look at you, defiant, dazzling, and more beautiful than you could know. This is what Spirit thinks about each and every one of us. This could be Spirit talking to us. Now go forth and have the pride in you that God has in us. And go and find Pastor Keith tomorrow greeting people at the interfaith service to kick off the LA Pride Parade tomorrow on the corner of Hollywood and Cahuenga Boulevard. Go meet that wonderful man. I'm here because of him. He is my pastoral mentor, and boy, do I have a good one. I'm the Reverend Sheena Metal. This is Saturday Night Spiritual. I sure love you all. Until I see you next month, please take these things with you. Seek peace wherever you can. Live in love every minute of your life. Lead with kindness every single day. Embrace unity, even though it's hard. We are one human family, and we're supposed to be embracing unity. Do whatever you can to raise your vibration, raise someone else's vibration, raise the global vibration, raise the universal vibration. Keep that uplift going, my friends. And remember, most importantly, every minute of your life, that you are love and you are loved. I'm Sheena, and I sure do love you, and I sure do love being a part of Founders MCC. This is Saturday Night Spiritual. I'll see you next month. Have pride, my friends.